All right, today we're going to talk about a really different way of thinking about the tools you use to grow your business. What if you could stop renting all that critical stuff and actually start owning it? I mean, really think about that for a second. Every single month, you're paying these subscription fees to platforms that are basically just holding on to your data. Your customer lists, your sales intelligence, you're paying rent on an asset that you built. That's the core problem we're going to dig into. And that problem leads us right into something the source material calls the SaaS rental trap. It's this cycle that so many businesses are stuck in, and a lot of times they don't even realize it's happening. So here's the breakdown. With a rented setup, the standard SaaS model, you're looking at high monthly fees. They often go up as you add more users. And your precious data, it's living on their platform. But with an owned model, it's totally different. It's a one-time setup cost, you get unlimited users, and, this is the big one, your data stays on your platform. You're the one in the driver's seat. Okay, so if that's the trap, what's the way out? Well, it's not just a different product, it's a whole different mindset. Let's take a look at the philosophy behind this new model.
And it all boils down to this one powerful idea. Just 3 simple words that pretty much challenge the entire software as a service industry. The idea is, instead of being a tenant on someone else's platform, you become the landlord of your very own growth engine.
And this whole philosophy really comes to life in the HGM Intelligent CRM. So what is it? Well, it's defined as a single, owned system that pulls together all the critical pieces you need for growth. We're talking SEO, automation, and outreach, all designed to get rid of those pesky monthly fees for good. Now, that all sounds great in theory, but how does it actually work? Let's pop the hood and see the mechanics of what they call the automated growth engine. The whole thing is broken down into 3 automated stages. First up is discovery, which is where the system goes out and finds your leads. Then comes intelligence, where it figures out who's actually worth talking to. And finally, revenue, where it helps you turn those conversations into cash. It's the whole journey, totally automated. So now let's get into the nitty-gritty of each step. This is the really cool part. This is where we see how the machine takes a completely cold contact and turns it into actual revenue, all without that soul-crushing manual grunt work. It all kicks off with discovery. The system uses these little bots that crawl Google Maps and live search data to find businesses that are a perfect fit for you. What that means is you can stop buying those stale, old lead lists and start working with prospects that are fresh and relevant right now. And when we talk about speed and scale, get this. The system can pull in over 4,000 potential leads every single hour. That's a pace that's just, well, it's impossible for a human to match. And it's not just about quantity, right? The quality is key. It's pulling data straight from the Google Maps API, then it's doing real-time email validation to make sure the contacts are good, and then, to top it off, it enriches that data with info from LinkedIn to pinpoint the key decision makers. Okay, so you've got this huge list of quality leads. Now we move on to the intelligence phase, and this is where it gets really, really smart. The system actually goes out and visits every single lead's website, and it analyzes it for all these key performance indicators and signals that suggest they're ready to buy. So what's the bottom line here? The amount of manual research your sales team has to do is 0. Yep, 0. The system does all the auditing for them, and it gives each lead a close probability score. That way, your team only spends time talking to the people who are most likely to say yes. So how does it pull this off? Well, it runs a full audit, checking for techie stuff like core web vitals and how fast their site is. It scores them using its own special index, and it even does what's called technographic profiling, which basically means it can see what software and tools that company is already using. And all of that brings us to the final step, revenue. So now you have this beautiful list of highly qualified, scored leads. From there, you can launch personalized outreach campaigns and manage your entire sales pipeline, right from the system's dashboard, using these really intuitive visual Kanban boards. And what this gives you is 100% visibility. We're talking you can track every single open, every click, every reply. You can drag and drop deals through your pipeline and even forecast your future revenue, all without ever having to leave the platform that you actually own. Okay, now for the part everybody's been waiting for, the money. Let's look at the return on investment. What's the real financial difference between owning your growth infrastructure versus, just continuing to rent it? So check out these numbers. Over 5 years, for a platform like Salesforce, you're looking at spending over $90,000. For HubSpot, it's way up there at over $180,000. Now, the 5-year recurring cost for the HGM CRM, because you own it, it's zero. And if the numbers themselves weren't clear enough, this chart just spells it out. You can see the costs of the rented platforms just towering over the owned model. It's a perfect picture of how those monthly fees just relentlessly stack up, year after year after year. So let's just do a quick recap of the big benefits here. With ownership, you get 0 monthly subscription fees. You get unlimited contacts and users. You get the full automated lead scraper and the SEO audit engine baked right in. And maybe the most important part, you get 100% ownership of the source code. It is truly, completely your asset. And that brings us all the way back to our final thought. After seeing how this whole owned infrastructure works, from the automated lead finding to the incredible long-term cost savings, it really just leaves us with one last question to think about. If you could own your growth engine, why on earth would you still choose to rent it?